Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sam the SLB, and alongside me today is the man behind the Twitter, the other half of this operation, Vince McMahon's voice of reason, Scott. We're coming to you from above the ring, Ship Studios' premier wrestling podcast, covering all things from AEW to WWE worldwide on Monday morning, Turner time, baby. Scott, how are we doing today?
Sam, I'm doing quite well. It's nice to have you back in your proper home. I know as much as you hate it.
Well, it's nice to be able to, the last two podcasts, I was in Georgia, and the room right next over to me was my friend's bedroom, and her husband worked overnight. So that's why the other two sound like we were doing NPR. But no longer, baby. We are live, loud, and proud early in the morning. But we got a lot to talk about. We have some breaking news that Scott and I have this running joke that all the good news happens after we record.
Yeah. And
this week is no exception. We got topics to discuss. But before we get into that, don't forget to listen to Scott's Raw Review, NXT Narrative, and SmackDown Study that drops on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, respectively. There was a loaded weekend that just happened. No Surrender. We're actually going to talk about Elimination Chamber, too, because Scott has some information on that. But before we get into all of that, we do have go through the next month of events. February 26th, we have MLW Super Fight, the main event being Alexander Hammerstone taking on Davey Richards for the MLW World Heavyweight title. I moved it because I was looking at the other thing we were talking about. March 1st, we have the New Japan Pro Wrestling 50th Anniversary Show. We have on the 5th Impact Sacrifice. 6th, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, AEW Revolution. This card chills down my spine.
Right?
The 12th of March, GCW Astronaut. The 20th, well, the 19th and the 20th is the Crockett Cup. That is coming back. Also on the 20th, we have New Japan Strong Style Evolved in Tampa, Florida. And on the 31st of March, we have MLW Intimidation Games, AAA's Lucha Libre, AAA WrestleCon Show, and WrestleCon. Whew.
And then just right after the bend, the most stupendous, I still don't understand why that's a thing, 2-day at WrestleMania, but we'll talk about that when we get closer to the time. But Sam, what are we kicking off with today?
Let us kick off with some recent Terminus 2 is this week, by the way. We just talked about that. It is February 24th. Sorry, I want to bring that up. Don't forget to check out Jonathan Grishram's new product. We totally missed the first one, but we got to keep an eye on the second one. We're going to kick off with breaking news, the most important thing of the week. No Surrender, because nothing was bigger than No Surrender this weekend. There was 2 pre-show matches. Trey Miguel took on and defeated John Skyler. Havoc defeated Tennille Dashwood. Jake Something defeated Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Meg Bailey. Jonah defeated Black Taurus. Jay White defeated Eric Young. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Miranda Elise for the women's title. Women's World Ring of Honor. I read that wrong. Like, women's title? Like, that's the Knockouts title. Matt Cardona defeated Jordan Grace by DQ for the Impact Digital Media Championship. The Good Brothers defeated the Guerrillas of Destiny to retain the Impact World titles, which this was fascinating. So I came across this morning. Jay White turned on Tonga Loa, I believe, after this match.
Not after, during the match.
During
the match. That's why Good Brothers won. Yeah, I saw that last night, and I'm like, should I send this to Sam, or should I let him see this naturally? And I decided on the latter, and your response this morning was well worth it.
My fat fingers don't make it to the T twice. It says on the O. So every time Scott gets a text, it's all in caps. It's like, Scoot! I'm just going to send you that from now on. I'm not going to correct it anymore. Scoot!
That's fine. You're like only the second person like in the world that I will allow to call me that. Maybe
that'll be your heel turn name.
That's right. Be a comedic heel. Just call me Scoot.
It's Scoot!
Thanks, Tony.
Following on with Mickie James defeated Tasha Steele to retain the Knockouts World Championship. Moose defeated Debbie Morrissey for the Impact World title. And then there was a 10-man tag match. Honor No More and Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, Vincent, and Kenny King defeating Team Impact with Chris Sabin, Rhino, Rich Swann, Steve Macklin, and Willie Mack. This had something else. This was the one where Honor No More will now stay in Impact because they won. But also, I believe at the end of the match, Eddie Edwards went out and went to go hit Maria Kanellis with a
Kendo stick.
And Rhino came out and he hit Rhino.
Yep.
Attacked Rhino.
Eddie Edwards, who's been like an Impact TNA like
face forever.
Yeah, like original. Well, I mean, he's been healed before, but he's been like, you know how like they call like Tommaso Ciampa like heart and soul of NXT and stuff like that. Like he was that for Impact, and for him to turn on Impact and allow Honor No More to stay, that's a big deal. I honestly, for me, I think that's a bigger turn than Jay White turning on the Guerrillas of Destiny, at least from an Impact standpoint. Like I know from the Bullet Club standpoint, that's an interesting thing.
Well, that changes a lot of, and I get the Impact. I can see how that one's very big, because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because he is an Impact, Impact through and through. The Jay White thing's, I think, different. They're both different scenarios. So Jay White attacked his own faction members on a different promotion.
Right.
Also still wrestling in AEW, which we'll talk about in a minute too.
Yep.
So yes, this happened here, but what are going to be the ripple effects going back to Japan?
Well, if I remember correctly, didn't the Guerrillas of Destiny effectively try to remove themselves or remove people from Bullet Club because they thought they were the original?
Yeah, because Tama Tonga and Bad Luck Fale are like day one members.
Yeah.
And they're still in there. So yeah, they do try to clear out people. That's kind of how the Elite eventually broke up, because they're like, yo, this is not what we're about.
Right.
So I keep telling people, I forgot what happened this week. I keep telling people the long game. Want to see what happens on the long game.
So with that being said, did you see the tweet that he sent out after this?
No.
Okay. He quote tweeted Impact's attack and tagged Young Bucks. Yep. That look, that's what I was waiting for. For those of you only listening to this, please go to YouTube and watch this reaction that Sam just had, because now this has ripple effects into AEW as well.
And we are weeks away from Revolution.
Bingo.
Yeah. I don't think Jay White was coming solo.
No.
Jay White was not coming solo. Bullet Club doesn't go solo.
Nope. So now this also makes me wonder, Bullet Club, or not Bullet Club, but the Good Brothers clearly now back within Bullet Club, or is Jay and Chris Bay now all Elite? Will we see them go back to AEW? I don't know. Many questions after last night.
I love how supposedly the Forbidden Door has kind of been like, I like how it kind of trickles back and forth. It's not like it's not like an invasion angle.
Right.
Which is not, it would be cool to see everyone just kind of like intertwine and intermingle, but you realistically can't do that.
Right.
But yeah, I think this Jay White thing might, I'm going to say it. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot the messenger. I want to put out a hypothesis there. For all of you who have been like saying stupid shit about the main article we're going to be talking about later, listen up. This is my let's just hear me out. Hear me out. I got myself so hyped up I totally just blanked on what I was actually going to say. Oh, that was what I was. Sorry. Wow. Guys, I drove like a million hours this weekend just to get back from Georgia in Florida. Anyways, this could potentially have longer lasting effects with the Forbidden Door more than Kenny Omega's Impact title run.
Okay.
Look at what Jay White did in Impact. Look at these things. And again, he did it to his own faction members outside of Japan.
Right.
So not even in Japan, and this is going on. This is gonna go back.
Yep.
He's wrestling in Revolution. At AEW right now. He's all over the place. Never mind that Ring of Honor is like involved.
Yep.
With Impact right now and everyone else. there's a lot at play here. There's a lot of Jay White's a bigger player than we think.
Mhm.
Because also keep in mind, on Rampage, which we will talk about this match, he wrestled Trent Beretta.
Yep.
And yes, he's a member of the Best Friends, and he's one half of Roppongi Vice, but most importantly, he is a former and also now an acting member of Chaos.
Yep.
Which, if I was in Canada, I'd get arrested because I'd probably have a big thing of gasoline in my hands right now. Because what did I say, Scott? You know exactly what I said. Burn the house down if Okada shows up in AEW.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm telling you, if we hear that coin drop, our phones are going to explode.
Oh my, twitching, guys.
No, this also poses an interesting question. Will Guerrilla's Destiny now travel to AEW to try to attack Jay White? And then that causes the Elite to get involved. And then do Japan versus AEW. Maybe that's another way for Okada to come over. Maybe bring over somebody else, like, I don't know, maybe Naito or Evil. I don't know, some names.
You still haven't gotten Tanahashi over here.
That's very true. Well, yeah. Well, then you have Tanahashi, and then you have to worry about Moxley. And if Moxley decides to join up with Daniel Bryan, literally, we could have like the most epic war of all time.
And we're not even talking, again, we're talking New Japan. We're not even talking about the beef between the Briscoes and FTR.
Oh, God. That'll bring ROH into the mix.
There is like, this is almost like how the Invasion angle should have happened.
Oh, God, I know.
You want to talk about
if only the the WCW stars didn't just sit at home and collect paychecks. God, what that Invasion angle should have been so much better. I mean, props for Booker T and RVD for trying to lead that, but God, if you had Flair, if you had Hogan, if you had Hall and Nash, and God, back then instead of years later, what could have been? Goldberg even as well. God, what could have been?
Don't worry, we've got Goldberg now.
That's
he's
true.
wrestling now. That's what matters. Yeah.
That is true.
Which we're going to get right into this, Scott. I know you said you want to talk about this because there was some actual news that came out of Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
For Elimination Chamber, which I was confused when I saw your tweet go out yesterday afternoon. I'm like, what the fuck is he tweeting Elimination? That's really early. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Got it.
Yep. So we had 8 matches on the card. One on the pre-show, which was a little surprising, because normally they don't really have a pre-show, and B, the fact that they actually had a match. So we had Rey Mysterio take on and defeating The Miz in the pre-show. It was a good match. Miz lately has been trying to get one up on the Mysterio family by claiming whoever's on the outside is cheating, and the ref normally falls for it because ref logic. That's just how this works. But this time didn't work. Rey gets the win. They kicked off the show with Roman versus Goldberg, which I was surprised with. This match, actually, for what Goldberg's been doing, was actually pretty good. It was 6 minutes. It was nice and quick. Goldberg hit, like, I think 2 spears on Roman, which, again, was shocking. He could never hit the jackhammer because Roman kept stopping him, and then Roman choked him out with his guillotine choke. So it was nice. Goldberg didn't tap; he just passed out, and we just moved on with it. After that, we had the women's Elimination Chamber match, as they did something a little confusing. I kind of have a feeling why they did this. With normal Elimination Chamber matches, you have the first 4 people come out and they go in the cages. And then the last 2 are generally your first 2 to start the match. For some ungodly reason, they did this with both the men and the women's. They had particular superstars come out last. Like they had Alexa Bliss come out last for this one. And they had, God damn it. And then we had Brock Lesnar come out last for the men's, but neither one of them started the match. So, okay, whatever. Probably just to get the crowd pop. Obviously, I'm going to say this Saudi crowd was really, really hot, like the whole night, which makes sense when they only get a pay-per-view every few months. Well, I'm sorry, premium live events. We can't call them pay-per-views anymore for some ungodly reason. But anyways, enough of that. Bianca Belair ran through everybody and will now be facing the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. We had Ronda Rousey with one arm tied behind her back, along with Naomi defeating Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss. I don't know if you saw these tweets that came out, but at one point, Drew delivered an Alabama slam to Madcap, and he over-rotated, and he landed literally, or under-rotated actually, landed directly on his neck.
I did see that. That
was insane. And then what does he do? He gets up and continues to wrestle for another like 5-6 minutes. I'm like, how is this man alive? Like, it was brutal. After that, we had Becky Lynch take on and defeat Lita to retain her Raw Women's Championship. But I will say, Lita has not lost a step. This was a great match. It was a little over 12 minutes, and many times I thought Lita was going to take this title. Like, they legit, like, Becky's amazing at selling pinfalls. Like, her near falls are outstanding. We were supposed to have the Usos take on the Viking Raiders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but the Usos decided to attack the Viking Raiders before the match, left them laying, and the match never happened. I'm like, wait, so you flew these 4 men over for an attack angle that could have happened on SmackDown? Thanks for the free ride, guys, I guess. Hopefully they got paid. Well, so. And then the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship started off hot. It was Rollins and Riddle that started the match. And then something funky happened. Riddle got buckle bombed through one of the pods. It hit Lashley and made Lashley fall to the ground. Now, watching it a few times over, the bump didn't look bad, but the moment it happened, like all the doctors from like everywhere, there was like 30 people that rushed to Lashley's pod, and they eventually they let him out of the ring. And I'm like, wait, so Lashley's he's done, so he's not even going to defend his title. I made a joke that maybe this would be the debut of somebody, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. That got a lot of that got some people getting a little rowdy, which is what I was hoping for. But eventually, they let us know that Lashley was put into concussion protocol, which then led to he ended up getting a shoulder injury that he's actually had since the Rumble, and now he needs shoulder surgery and he's out for 4 months. So unfortunately, he has to miss WrestleMania. Apparently that was the plan the whole time, which makes sense now why they threw him in the Elimination Chamber match, but never actually had him wrestle. And he didn't really do much leading up. I know you probably didn't watch, but those who watched noticed that Lashley really didn't do all that much physical wise leading into it. So it makes sense now. It's really unfortunate that he got hurt back at the Rumble, and now missing 4 months. But I have a feeling that when he comes back, oh shit. But anyways, Brock Lesnar was Brock Lesnar. He turned into Shayna Baszler in the Elimination Chamber and literally just eliminated everybody, including F5ing Austin Theory off the top of one of the pods. So yeah, death and destruction reigned supreme. Brock Lesnar is now once again the WWE champion. And then the challenge went out. It is now Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, title for title, winner take all. So now I'm extra happy that we're not going because I have no interest at all in seeing that match at all.
Yeah, that's Not only is it the second time this has happened.
Yep.
Wait a minute, no.
No, it is because the last time it happened, Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but didn't this also happen at WrestleMania 34? Where everyone thought Roman was going to get put over and Brock still won? Am I recalling that correctly?
I think you might.
Hold a second.
Be.
Let me see. Sorry,
No.
now what? WrestleMania 34.
So while you search for that, I mean, it makes sense that, you know, they're going to continue to do this because Brock has been probably the only thorn left in Roman's side at this point. So I guess this is just a new iteration of Roman Reigns, and we'll see how he does.
Yes, this happened at 34.
Okay, so this is the third time then they'll have a one-on-one match.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Honestly, I hope Roman does win because at this point I want Roman to outlast a lot of people. I guess from what they said, there's only 3 people that have held this title longer than him. Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, and Hulk Hogan.
Let's see.
And I think Pedro Morales maybe as well. So there's only 4. And I think Hogan's next on the list.
Let me see. I'm actually pulling that list up right now.
Yeah, because I think Roman has the longest WWE, you know, like heavyweight, like the main card title. It's the longest in 35 years. And I want him to continue to do it. I want him, honestly, to hold it until next year's WrestleMania and then beat The Rock and continue just running through everybody. It's just what I want. They need to build up a face that can challenge him and actually go over after winning. And I think they can do it. But
we talking about what? Longest reigns? Longest reigns
ever, yeah.
Is this Universal title? He has a Universal title.
He's a Universal Champion, yeah, but any major title in WWE, I believe it's just those 4 men, I think, that are ahead of him.
Okay, so this is what I have. This doesn't break him down, though. I know for a fact Bruno Sammartino is the longest man to hold the title.
Nobody's ever going to touch that. It's like
that's like 10 years, I think.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah.
The only other one longer than that is Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah, she held.
I know Hogan held it for, I can't really see on here. I know Bob held it for a while. Pedro Morales actually held it for over 1,000 days.
So all right, so it's Pedro then that's next. So he's the next one to go. I could see honestly, I could see Roman holding on to this title for over 1,000 days.
Yeah. Well, they
just need to make sure they keep things fresh.
Yeah, you need to give it to somebody who every so often. I'm not going to say records shouldn't be broken, but every Bruno's not going to be touched. You cannot give somebody a title for 10 years anymore.
Yeah, it's not the 80s. You can't do that anymore. Yeah, exactly.
No. Maybe Nick Aldis, but even Nick Aldis, he had his title run broken up by like a 30-day run by Cody.
Right.
So you can't. I don't know, but it would be cool to see him. Sorry, I took the glass off because I want to get I really had to dig into the data I had in front of me. Yeah, let's see what. I'm curious, and it would be good since Roman is younger to get the win over Brock. But
yeah, at this point, absolutely. I mean, Roman's done a lot, and right now he's literally at the top of his game. The crowd either loves him or hates him depending on where they go, which I think is what they wanted. And now with the extra added tidbit of Paul Heyman going back to Roman, it gives Brock a little extra in this match too. But I don't know. I really honestly hope that Brock is not double champion at the end of Mania, because Roman deserves to actually get a great moment other than beating the Undertaker, which unfortunately didn't really do anything because Taker continued to wrestle afterwards.
Yes. And you know what? This is a great segue.
You like that?
Speaking of Undertaker, and speaking of reasons why we might kick ourselves for not going this year, you're like, meh. You're like, I can live it out. It's been announced that The Undertaker will be inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2022.
Correct.
I'm glad. I had a discussion with this, I think after we were talking about the Football Hall of Fame or the Baseball Hall of Fame recently. We were talking about Hall of Fames that have no rules. See here. But I'm glad that the Undertaker, that he's decided to he has to retire due to health reasons. He is old. He's like as old as my dad. He'll be the head of this class, and it's gonna be one of those. His induction is gonna be as big as Hulk Hogan's, as big as Stone Cold's. Trying to think of other people who were just like their induction into the Hall of Fame was they were legendary.
Right.
You know, they helped. Not only were they legendary in their but they were the face of the company.
Right.
You know, and Undertaker has been wrestling longer than I've been alive, Scott.
Yeah, I know. My first year watching wrestling was his debut year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this. This will be a lot of fun to watch. I've always loved the Hall of Fame ceremonies. We got to go, which is cool. That one year we went.
Yeah.
We got to see a very rare occurrence of the one, the only, the legendary Jim Cornette speak at a WWE event.
That's true.
I will never forget him. I will never forget the opening lines. I'm Jim Cornette. This is a live mic. We're going to see how this goes.
Yep. I remember watching that. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, that was insane.
But we're going to continue with Hall of Fames quickly because it's funny. As we were talking, these two things popped into my head. So obviously we have that, the Undertaker Hall of Fame. We also forgot Ring of Honor has their Hall of Fame, and we have a new inductee into their inaugural Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think some people are going to have wheels turning right now. Samoa Joe.
Well deserved as well. And honestly, if they add another, it needs to be CM Punk. I would also throw out, Seth Rollins as well, but obviously that's probably not going to happen until he retires. But yeah, those four men were integral to Ring of Honor being as good as it was back then.
Yeah, I mean they established they were the establishment of the Code of Honor.
Yes.
There's probably plenty of other people out there you could put in there, but these guys are definitely very well deserved. Especially since they're not in WWE. Maybe like down the road you might see, like Seth Rollins or Kevin Steen and El Generico.
Right.
You're not going to see him now get inducted, but it's kind of like Jerry Lawler. Like the guy, he has like a Legends contract, but even still, like when he was fully signed, he just show up at random things.
Yeah.
Because he's always been, he was a promoter for a long time. He wasn't just a wrestler. I think people forget about that.
Yep.
But looking forward to both of these Hall of Fames. When did we say this Hall of Fame was?
It is actually the same night as SmackDown. So it's going to go from SmackDown right into the Hall of Fame. There's actually they're selling tickets for the combined event. I think actually they might have already gone on sale. Either that or they're on sale next week.
I also saw something that it said NXT Stand and Delivers the same day as WrestleMania Night 1.
It is. It's in the afternoon.
Same location?
That I'm not sure.
That would be what is this, WrestleMania 2 if you do it otherwise? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm glad that they're keeping the NXT pay-per-views.
They've been pretty good. Obviously if it's not going to be a takeover because takeovers are now gone, but I don't know. Should be interesting. I'm a little concerned that they're overlapping. But it is what it is, I guess.
That would be a horrible decision, business decision, if you're going to overlap your two shows.
Well, I don't know about overlapping, but have them. I misspoke then. Have them be back to back. That's another long day of wrestling. Because the whole point of having 2 nights of WrestleMania is to not have a 12-hour show. But if you're going to have NXT and then go right into WrestleMania Night 1, then you have an 8-hour day.
Yeah, you know what, we can. We're gonna wash our hands of that, and we'll wait, see what happens in a little over a month. So one of the other really cool stories that came out of this week, we've seen EC3 and Adam Scherr promote this Control Your Narrative.
Mm-hmm.
These promos have been fire. It's always great when I see them post stuff and they, adding stuff. This week, it was announced that this was from EC3's official Twitter page. EC3 and Adam Scherr to launch new wrestling company. TV deal announcement imminent. They're doing some live shows early, in Orlando on 3/5 actually, and a TV special on 3/31. We're gonna have to mark that one down, Scott. Yep. I feel like that's important. But it is called Control Your Narrative. It also goes on to mention that the talent involved in CYN asked to be part of the project, and that list includes Matt Cardona, Moose, Marina Shafir, Weston Blake, and more. As for Cross, he will debut on CYN on the 31st. There's something about this. There's something about this one that really intrigues me. I don't know what it is.
I also like the fact that in a previous promo, EC3 talked about how they were going to get away from the 3-letter companies, and yet now they have their own 3-letter company.
I'm really curious as to, because they're talking about, again, a TV deal. I'm really curious who they're going to get picked up by.
Probably one of the local networks down in Florida, I would assume, to start, which makes sense because there used to be channels down there that would cover FCW when that was still a thing, and OVW, and early day NXT.
So it'd probably be like that and like Fight TV for people not
probably
in Florida.
That probably to start off, yeah, and then if they do well, hopefully somebody else picks them up. So what I've been hoping with Impact forever. They need to get off Access TV and get into an actual network. Hell, put them on Nessun for God's sake. Something. I don't care. Just get them where I can actually watch them live. That we can cover them all the time now instead of just doing the results.
Yeah, Scott's upset. He's not on the Impact train anymore.
I miss it. I do. I miss it severely.
So following this, we had this past weekend we have New Japan's New Year's Golden Series that was happening. It was a 4-day event, 11th, 13th, 19th, and 20th. The 20th we want to kind of mention because there was a couple of title changes here. Toriano defeated Minoru Suzuki for the KOPW 2022 trophy. Where's the other one? Was that this night or was it the last night? That was last night. Sonata defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IWGP US title. Which is big news.
That is big news. Yeah, I think I read in that article that I sent you that it's his first singles title ever.
It is.
I like that. I like those first time ever wins. That's always a nice thing.
Yeah, especially when you got tag team. Like I saw, I think on the first ever Ring of Honor show I went to, it was War of the Worlds. It was Evil and Sonata were wrestling. There was like I think it was a 4-way tag match or something like that. But it was cool. They've always had great chemistry. Granted, they're not a tag team anymore, but they've always been great wrestlers. And I know Evil's been getting more of a push than he has.
Yep.
But super, super happy for him. I hope it goes somewhere. I'm looking at this card, or these cards. Evil defeated Tomohiro Ishii by pinfall in a lumberjack death match for the never openweight title. Los Ingobernables defeated Okada and Tanahashi. Let me tell you, sometimes it's like we fall off the boat because of our schedules. And then dog cage match. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, I'm really in cute. Anyways, before I could go off on New Japan all day. But a lot of exciting stuff. I think it's very important. We need to keep our eye on Japan, especially with Jay White currently in the States right now and the things going on with Bullet Club.
Things are happening, and it's very, very exciting. I know we keep saying this, but this is literally a great time to be a fan of wrestling.
It is, and we're just gonna end our news segment with this little itty-bitty article that we came out earlier this week. Not a big deal, nothing crazy going on here.
It's almost not worth mentioning.
Yeah, we weren't even gonna mention it. It's nobody that anybody knows, but this small town guy called Cody Rhodes made the announcement that he's leaving AEW. But anyways,
Sorry,
on to our
what?
NWA results. No, but seriously, at the beginning of the week, I knew Cody had been like, I think I feel like there might have been something out of the gate prior to this where there were like rumors that he was going to leave the company or he was going to like walk away for a bit.
Well, I know there were talks of him stepping away from the ring for a little while to focus on his projects outside of AEW.
Yeah.
I know with like the Go Big Home show, which is actually
Rhodes to the top.
Rhodes to the top. Yeah, so they were going to focus on those and not so much in ring, and that's all good and fine. I thought that was fine, but him leaving the company after not having a contract for the last 6 weeks was still a little surprising. When you have a founder and a EVP of the company just deciding to walk away along with Brandy, it was surprising. I will say AEW fans on Twitter were shook. They were freaking out, and
there's a
I'm
lot.
not gonna lie, it was the first time I've ever seen AEW fans legitimately scared. They didn't know what to do, and then with how this always works, they flip that switch and they're like, it's all right. Cody's not that important anyway. It's not that much of a big deal. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's the founder of your goddamn company, an executive vice president. Like, you can't just turn your back. And now they're calling him a sellout because potentially now heavy rumors that he might be going back to WWE. And there was even a small hint about it during Elimination Chamber. When I talked about Miz and Rey Mysterio. Miz had a conversation after the match, stating how it was basically a 2-on-1 handicap match, and he needs to find, it's fine. I'll find a partner, someone as an A-list like me, and who's known around the world, and I think I might know who that might be. I have to make a phone call. And he walks off. And of course, the internet's like, ah. So,
and then he was spotted in
Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Yep. Yeah, there are rumors right now, heavy rumors. I've heard things coming out of WWE. I've seen the things about AEW where he wanted more money and Tony Khan wouldn't give it to him. And there's a lot. People like, fuck you, Cody, or people like, I hate speculating.
That was also one of the bigger ones, that he lost his booking power.
Well, that was something we talked about, I think, sometime last year, that after a certain point, Tony Khan kind of took over.
Yep.
Was doing most but also he does try to he doesn't do the Vince thing where it's like, I don't like what you're going to do. We're actually going to put Keith Lee in like a turkey costume, and, he's going to shed feathers all over the ring. Yeah, it'll be funny. Right. It'll sell. No, Tony's actually been pretty good, and he works with the talent really well. Just because let's be clear. Just because Tony writes everything doesn't mean that he's not gonna. He's listened to everybody.
Yep.
If he pulled the Vince route, we wouldn't be watching AEW. AEW would already be in the footnotes of wrestling.
Sure. Yep. There's also one other rumor that I've seen, and I know we don't like to talk about it, but this one actually kind of may be a big deal. Cody, before he left WWE the first time, he wanted to kind of do like his father did. His father obviously was a very famous booker, so he wanted to kind of do the same. So there are some rumors out there that he actually might be interested in buying ROH.
That is something I had thought about. I too have thought about that. Okay, he goes back. Somebody told me this. I don't know how true it is. If it was a lick of truth, it would be kind of cool. But again, we got to sit back and look at this from we got a lot of information coming from us. Yep. Remember, wrestling from the start is an industry based on kayfabe.
Correct.
So they could be dropping stuff that's not even real to throw people off.
Right. I will submit evidence number one. This morning, Cody Rhodes took a picture of his new child.
I saw that.
the dog saying, "Oh, this is what retirement looks like." And of course, again, people this morning, he's retiring. Oh my God, he's not leaving us to go to WWE. He's retiring, and I'm like, ha ha ha. This is the games that they play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I never take things with I always take things with a lick of salt. Even though, like, when we tweet, sometimes we'd be like, "What's happening?" Yeah. It's like it's exciting because sometimes it's just we sit there and be. It's the line from Nirvana, "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Here we now entertain us.
Yep.
Like, that's where I'm at. Like, this is very entertaining. So
it is.
I'm one rumor I heard, but this was from a friend, and I was never sent an article. Cody Rhodes is being handed NXT. He signed WWE being handed NXT.
I did see some rumors on that as well, which honestly, I want to see that conversation between him and Triple H. So, Cody, what about that breaking that throne? Oh, sorry. No. Kenny and the Bucks maybe do it.
Yeah, I've seen the memes where he's over there. It's like the picture from was it Double or Nothing? Was it? Yeah, it was Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
all out. One of the two where he breaks it. Except he has like super glue and he's like.
I sent you that. I sent you that one. Yeah.
So there's the NXT one. There is the Ring of Honor theory, because remember, they're going on hiatus, but all of a sudden, Ring of Honor has a Hall of Fame and they're doing a Supercard, and Supercard of Honor is happening the same weekend WrestleMania is.
That is correct. So
they're talking about him doing something on WrestleMania weekend. Also, let's keep in mind what we just talked about. Control your narrative.
Right.
EC3 said people who are involved with Control Your Narrative want to be part of this project.
Yep.
Cody has a name to himself. Cody, when he went to Ring of Honor, not that Ring of Honor wasn't big anyways, but the idea of Cody Rhodes on Ring of Honor made it feel that much more important.
Right.
The fact that he's been involved with AEW has made it felt like that much more. Or like Jericho. Okay, that was the big thing with him signing with AEW. They got a TV when he's like, "We got a TV deal." Yep. Jericho was like, "Yeah, if we're going prime time and we got a TV deal, I'm in." Like, this is when people saw Jericho come out at the first person on the press conference.
Yep. Big deal.
Huge deal. So there's a lot of excitement going on. There's what's he doing? We don't know, and we don't want to make any assumptions.
Right.
There are so many, no pun intended, there were so many roads for Cody to go down.
I applaud you on that one, sir. I applaud you.
And also, I mean, there's other promotions out there too. So we're going to hop right into it. We keep forgetting about NWA. Didn't realize NWA has 2 shows going on right now. NWA USA and NWA Power. So imagine imagine him actually holding the NWA title for a long period of time. Okay, so for NWA Power this week, we had the British Invasion defeat Fable Jake and Jaden Roller. We had Tootie Lynn defeat Marty Bell. Oh, okay. They had people on their sides. Allison Kay and Kylie Ray around the end. I keep forgetting about Kylie Ray. She disappears and then she comes back, and I miss Smiley Kylie. Oh yeah, we also have this is why we need to get back into NWA, Scott, because I keep forgetting they have a new champion. Matt Cardona. Double count out.
5 title belts right now. 5.
Yep. We had a double count out by Genocide and Natalia Markova. And then Melina defeated Christy James. No, 5th match. Wow, is this a full show? Wow. Matt Cardona defeated Victor Benjamin. Is this a pay-per-view? This is like the longest Power I've seen in a while. It's Strictly Business, and El Rudo defeated The End and Rodney Mack. Following that, we had NWA USA. I don't know why they have a USA show unless they're thinking it's like USA, back in like the 80s or whatnot.
Maybe rotating around the national title?
You're onto something, Scott.
Maybe.
I'm only a short man.
But you have tall ideas, Sam. You have tall ideas.
There was a fatal four-way. Winner became #1 contender for the World Junior Heavyweight title with Jay Spade getting the win. We had Chris Adonis defeated Fable Jake via submission. Wait a minute. Chris Adonis again defeating Marsh Rocket by ref stoppage. That was short. Okay. They must be doing some kind of different format. Fascinating. Oh, man. I gotta go. I think we talk about going back and watching stuff we can't watch more than actually watching it.
I know.
But what we will talk about, our favorite day of the week, it's Wednesday, my dudes. AEW Dynamite. I'm going to call myself a mark for a moment. I am definitely one of those guys who did not like the fact that WWE used to have every 15-minute opening segment of interviews. And it's like, oh, great, we got Roman again. Oh, great, we have The Miz again. Oh, great, we have Kevin. I keep going to say Kevin Steen. Kevin Owens again. We have John Cena again. We have whoever's coming out for 15 minutes and talking. Now, the past couple of weeks, we've had CM Punk and we've had MJF.
Yep.
We're planting the seed for Revolution, guys. This promo, I don't even know where to start with these. Like, I said it last week. MJF and CM Punk promos are what we deserve in 2020. No, we don't deserve them. We need them.
Yes.
We do not deserve what they're doing.
No.
Pretty much, summary, CM Punk called out MJF for a rematch at Revolution at first I thought it was going to be a steel cage because he said in a cage. And I kind of missed because my volume was kind of low. But then he mentions a dog collar match. And he specifically goes back to, who is it, Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper.
Yes.
And MJF came out, didn't really say any. Did he even? I don't think he said anything.
Nope, I don't believe he did either.
But we're getting the match.
Yep.
At Revolution.
There's only been one dog collar match in AEW before. It was Cody versus Mr. Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. And it's a shame now that both of those men are no longer with the company. But I would like for the dog collar match to be AEW's staple match. Kind of like how Hell in a Cell used to be for WWE. I want this to be that staple match. And it's that rivalry that needs to end, but you need something super physical for it to end. And I think that this type of match is perfect for them.
Yeah, and I cannot wait. Like the idea that you are not only like you're have a dog collar around both your necks and you're tied to each other. Nobody can run.
Nope.
And it'll be interesting because obviously we know Wardlow. We're really building up on this Wardlow turn, and I love how it's taking forever.
Yeah, the slow burn is working. For me, I love it. I love slow burn so much. Part of me feels like it's going to come to a head, though, at this pay-per-view. I feel like it might. Although, again, they could continue to slow burn it, and this may go all the way to Double or Nothing. I don't know. We talked about this last week. There's a lot of different variables that are out there now. And I believe one of the things we talked about is now actually happening. Adam Page versus Adam Cole.
The Battle of the Atoms, baby.
Battle of the Atoms. That's right.
I had a conversation in one of my other group chats, like, "Yo, we're getting Page versus Cole. I want Adam to win." And I'm like, "Nah, Adam's gonna totally destroy him. Nah, Adam's definitely losing." Like, literally, that's been the whole conversation.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that so much.
So the opening bout on this card, we had Lee Moriarty taking on Bryan Danielson. Again, what can I say? Bryan Danielson, and again, I've never not liked him, but he is the best Bryan Danielson we have seen. Correct. This match looked incredible. He looked incredible. Lee Moriarty's being robbed from not being on TV from week to week.
Correct.
Like it was so, I was like, we need more of him.
This is the type of match that makes somebody that should be on television more often. So hopefully, yes, they're able to start doing that. Because I know you said the AEW has their moments where they're able to do pretty good job with rotating in new talent on the television. I believe after this match, this should be Lee's chance to be on TV more often.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially since he was the one that they were fighting over, while Brian was like, oh, yeah, we should definitely take him under our wing with Jon Moxley. So you also have that going on.
This might also be part of that. Like, to say, like, hey, you showed me what I need to see. Now I need you to come with us. So you never know.
Yes. Following that, we had Wardlow and Max Caster in the Face of Revolution qualifier match with Wardlow getting the win. Again, at this point, we talked about this for a long time. I always have to bring this up when we talk. Did not like the Acclaimed. Now I love the Acclaimed, especially when I'm like, what is Max Caster going to say this week?
Right. Yeah, that's what it's turned into now. And it's good.
He said something. Was it about the Super Bowl? He said something that was just like, I mean, he does it every week. He says something like, but he also, they look great in the ring. Him and Anthony Bowens really look great in the ring.
Mm-hmm. They're good. They're a really good tag team.
Those are the heel tag teams you want. Like, imagine if they had the belts. Like, this is the tag team, which this is going to be a triple threat match at Revolution for the titles.
Correct.
Jurassic Express and two other teams. Who could it be? I don't know.
We'll find out next week because the first, I believe it's a tag team battle royal, I believe, for that first spot. And then there's going to be a second one, I think, probably the following week. But it's interesting because you talk about that, and then there was an interesting backstage segment a little later on in the show where it was Adam Cole, the Bucks, and Red Dragon. And they were talking about Cole's match on Rampage, and then they started talking about the tag team battle royal. And both Red Dragon and Bucks had obviously something to say to one another, and they kind of just left off. And then they show Adam Cole. And Cole's like walks kind of towards one way, stops, turns around, looks at the other way, starts walking, takes a couple steps, and then he stops, and he's literally confused on where he should go. And then you got Brandon Cutler going, which way you going, Cole? And Adam's like, shut up, Brandon. They're doing such a great job with this. I really want to know where Adam Cole's loyalties lie. Obviously, you know what I've been thinking this whole time, that Cole is really going to bring people in just to take out Omega and the Bucks for what they did to him so many years ago, and bring in Jay White. Come on,
it's there's stuff going on. I'm
pay attention. You pay attention, you can see all this stuff, and just
long-term story building. You don't have to.
So good.
It's kind of like the Wardlow thing, If this was, and I hate to knock, but you know what I mean. If WWE did something like this within like 3 weeks, like, oh look, heel turn, cool. Right. Wardlow, it's like so close. You're like, he's just so.
Yep. They're waiting for him to turn face, and something just keeps stopping him from doing it. And that moment when he finally cracks, the crowd is going to go ape shit, and it's going to be amazing to see.
And the same thing with what's going on with Cole here.
Yeah.
He's like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? I got Red Dragon with me. And the Bucks are like, yeah, cool. You're a friend still, right? He's like, yeah, I'm your friend. And you're like, come on, buddy.
I know.
Come on. Which going into the next promo, it was Hangman and Cole talk. Hangman was talking and whatnot. Cole comes out, pretty much, I love you. You're my buddy. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, wow, this is a really heartfelt promo. I was bamboozled for a moment until Red Dragon came out and kicked the shit out of Paige. Yep. And then he came and he started to kick. All I could think about was Adam Cole's debut in NXT on Drew McIntyre. That's all I could think about. And I'm like,
That's the best thing because everybody knows Undisputed Era. Everybody knows. So that's the whole thing. It's like the NXT style of stuff. And they also did stuff together in ROH, but it's really Undisputed Era. That's the big thing that they remember Adam Cole with Red Dragon. But then it's like, does he then go the other route? Everything with the Elite, how they did stuff before. It's all the ROH stuff. That's the personally, I want that storyline where he attacks Omega. That's what I need it. I need it in my soul, Sam.
This is my thoughts. I know Kenny has been out. He's going to be out for a while. I literally have in my head, because I know everyone's like, oh, he's going to be out. He got surgeries. In my head, I've literally told myself Kenny Omega will not be wrestling in 2022.
Wouldn't surprise me.
With how beat up he is, I don't want him to rush it. If he is as damaged as he is, he needs to really just rest, relax, get his surgeries, get himself situated. He'll come back and kick ass still. Hands down.
God. It's going to be insane.
The fact that he was wrestling the way he was with how damaged he was blows my mind.
God bless him. Jesus Christ.
When I roll out of bed and I have like when you roll out of bed the wrong way and your neck is all fucked up.
Yep.
And I'm like, I want to just end it all. Like, this hurts.
Yeah, I'm done.
And that's just getting out of bed and going to work that day. Whereas he's like, what came to mind was that match with Hangman Page at Full Gear, where he did his normal over the ring thing, where he sprawled himself out, jumps. It's almost like moonsault.
Yeah.
And then learning that he's been fucked up and he hasn't been able to lift anything.
Yeah.
And you're able to still do that.
Yeah. Now that adrenaline kicks in and you can do some ridiculous shit. And then after that wears off, your body's like, hey, guess what? You're going to die from pain.
So with that being said, when he does come back, there are so many matchups that we're going to see. And I'm excited when it happens to be him and Cole.
Oh, my God. It's great. He's going to come back and be like, where the hell is everybody? So many new people. People have left. It's like, what the hell?
We're going to get, we could see him wrestle Keith Lee. We could see him wrestle Brody King.
Yep.
We could also get the rematch he said would never happen because there's not going to be a rematch.
Sure.
Him and Danielson too. I could watch that match all day. What perfection. That's all I'll say.
It was good.
And you know what? This we're not even halfway through this episode, by the way. Up next we had the Inner Circle taking on each other. Santana Ortiz taking on Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. What a battle.
Oh my God.
What a battle. And keep in mind, Santana and Ortiz were, have been upset. Eddie Kingston came out at one point. Sammy Guevara's like, if you guys can't get your ships together, I'm leaving. Santana ended up pinning Jericho. Mm-hmm. I don't know. This doesn't really solve anything. This doesn't solve anything.
Well, I mean,
but let's play this out. Santana and Ortiz have now defeated Jericho and Hager, proving that they don't need Jericho.
Right.
There is a triple threat match at Revolution, as we stated.
Yep.
Imagine if they go in there without Jericho or Kingston. You could play the we didn't need you, or Eddie helped us, you didn't help us. Either way, they could leave that with the titles. I don't want Jurassic Express to lose, but Santana and Ortiz would be dominant tag team champions. Again, another story where this has only begun, and I don't know where it's going to go.
Yep. And now there's also the interesting tidbit now with Jericho and Eddie Kingston. That's starting now, too. So I know Jericho hadn't wrestled in, I think it was 3 months? 3 weeks? It's been a while, but he said that it was fantastic. He hadn't lost a step. So, yeah, it must have been months. But I'm interested to see where that goes too, because those two, the promos, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. And Kingston's been like, he's kind of been in the back, even though he has a storyline going on. He's been in the back, and Kingston's been dominant ever since he joined the company.
Yep.
And also, I mean, Jericho gets together with Proud and Powerful. Conan shows up again. Homicide joins AEW.
I mean, Jericho did make that comment about having the wrong members of LAX, which was out. That was such a perfect line to just further antagonize them. Oh my God.
Imagine bringing LAX finally into AEW.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be something. But also what was something was the new no DQ match between Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez. Bloodbath. I mean, except for that table that didn't break, but you know what? The rest of the match was great. I loved it. I thought this could have been like a main event, borderline main event match. Now Thunder Rosa coming out dressing up as what's her name?
As Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
The way the match ended, where Thunder Rosa got the win, and then she helps Mercedes up, and then she gets attacked anyways.
Yep.
Which goes into finally Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for the title at Revolution.
Finally.
I loved it. I'll tell you right now, this episode of Dynamite has been great. The one before that was great too. Like, they've been consistent with the cards recently.
Yep.
And again, consistency. Sammy Guevara taking on Darby Allin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this again, we've seen them wrestle before. Maybe for the title at one point when Darby had it. I don't remember. We've seen them wrestle.
They've wrestled before, yeah. I think they've wrestled a couple times beforehand.
And again, both talents are incredible. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. Like, Sammy's ready to go on his own. I think we had this discussion last week.
Yeah.
Sammy is ready to split from the inner circle. He is Randy Orton in Evolution.
I like that. Yes.
Remember the past, the present, and the future?
That's right.
And I'd say more so Randy Orton just because he's been wrestling. You know, he never stopped. He was
right.
You know, Batista left and whatnot. But and Darby is just the guy. I don't know if there's any star out of that group of people, out of the pillars, if you will. I won't say the four, but you know, the pillars. I don't know if there's anybody gets a bigger pop than Darby.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, whenever his music starts, like you get that guitar starting, and then all the crowd just blows up every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Sammy gets a good pop, MJF gets a good pop, Britt Baker gets a good pop, Jungle Boy gets a good pop, but Darby comes out. That's the one. He's like
next level. Yeah.
Here. So this was great, and especially the ending where we had some, some interference by Jose and Andrade El Idolo, where they stole the belts, and Guevara still got the win. This is insinuating a lot.
Well, I believe next week now, Sammy's going to be fighting Andrade. So, yep. I think it's time for Andrade to have some gold. And no offense to Sammy, but I think Andrade would be a real good TNT champion.
Yeah, puts him in the title spot.
Right.
You know, it's people got to remember, because I do have friends out there that get upset about this. Oh, this person should have a title. This person should have a title. This person should have Yes, I'd love to see all of them hold a title at some point or another, but that's difficult to do.
Right.
And not all the best. Don't forget, there's wrestlers out there that have never held titles that were legendary.
Yep.
I mean, fuck you. Let's even look at The Undertaker. I mean, how many times was he champion?
Maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And he main evented one WrestleMania. I'm not going to count the Roman Reigns one because that really wasn't a title. That was like, they want to put Roman in the front. But
yeah,
it's only like main evented like WrestleMania like once or twice for the title.
some wrestlers don't need a title to stand out.
No. So Sammy's getting to that point where I don't think he needs one, but I think he's going to be pushing towards the title spot, like the upper title. And Andrade, give him the TNT title. I mean, I feel like that's a good heel belt.
Yeah.
So, again, solid episode of Dynamite. Really look forward to it. We're going to skip Impact, guys, because we talked about No Surrender. All up to date there. Rampage. I actually just watched this just before we recorded because I was driving home. Started early. I totally forgot about that. That was another thing that,
I did too. I know. It was like, I don't know, like 7 past, and our good friend Steven on Twitter was just like, sirs, why are you not watching Rampage? And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Well, I will be back to tweeting Rampage this week. Scott's like, yes, finally. I can watch some wrestling myself. But we kick off Rampage this week with there was I think 3 or 4 matches on this.
Yeah.
Dark Order's 10, Preston Vance taking on Adam Cole, baby. Good opening bout. We don't see a lot of Preston either.
He's another one that deserves more TV time.
Yeah, he's like a monster. He's like up there with like the Wardlows of the company. When you talk about like monsters.
Yep.
That was good. Adam Cole got the win on that one, as expected. Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Dante Martin. This was great. Again, they're really pushing Dante.
Yep.
Dante's a main eventer. He just has an energy to him that can't be touched.
But it's surprising, though, that he lost this match the way he did. With Powerhouse Hobbs getting the win. And now it's like the big meaty men bumping meats over here at the Faceless Revolution match with Keith Lee, Wardlow, and now Powerhouse Hobbs. Like, they need like those big show ladders now, because a lot of heavy men going up to get that title belt, or to get that ring, or whatever they're gonna have up there for the face of the Revolution.
Yep. No, this is gonna be fun. I like how I'm wondering if they're gonna have a to be determined. They usually do.
Probably yeah. That would be fun.
So that's gonna. I love these matches. I know a lot of people don't like their casino battle royales, or the face of the Revolution, or these ladder matches where you get the number 1 contenders. But it's fun because they always bring somebody new and that you haven't seen before.
Correct. Yes, and even still, like, you need special matches when you have multiple people near the top of the card, or near the top of the rankings, because you want to know who will be that number 1 guy to go after the title holder. So these type of matches are fun. They are, because you don't know. You have like literally like could be the top 6 going after, 2 through 6 going after this, see who's going to go after the champion. I don't know. People just like to complain. I just like to watch wrestling and enjoy it.
Agreed. Following that, we had Angelica Risk taking on and losing to Serena Deeb in her 5-minute rookie challenge. Looking forward to see where this goes with Hikaru Shida, because that feud's not over.
Nope. Shida's over in Japan now, enjoying some time. I did see an article that she had actually, well, not an article, but like something that she had written, talking about how it's difficult for the Joshi wrestlers to really kind of stand out in AEW, which is a little sad to see. So I'll look into that a little bit more, but hopefully they can turn that around, because I actually really enjoy the Japanese wrestlers, because I don't get a chance to watch them otherwise. Yeah, no, we don't. I know there's a couple different networks that show that kind of stuff, but you and I don't have the like $30 for, or $40 it would cost to get every subscription and watch them. There's a lot of wrestling out there. We try to cover what we can. And what was the last match here? Oh, yes. We didn't need a lot of talking here. Nope.
Trent Beretta taking on Jay White. This is exactly how I thought this match would go.
Yep.
There's a reason why Jay White is the head of the Bullet Club. There's a reason he's the first time Grand Slam champion over New Japan. if you ever watch Rampage, if there's one match I suggest, it's this one.
Yep.
This match was flawless. I don't know what they're doing with Jay White. You don't job. He's not being jobbed out. You can't job him out. Can you imagine if he actually signed with AEW? Highly doubt it because he's a big deal in Japan right now.
Money talks, though.
It does.
Depending on his contract signing, his contract status over in New Japan. So
yeah. This was I don't know. I can't. Don't sleep on Jay White. We talked about him last week or the week before that, and we're gonna call him like Wrestling Spotlight for the talent you may not be familiar with. If you're not familiar with Jay White, you watch him. Watch him wrestle fucking Okada a million times. Like anything Okada. If there is one person of the Revolution who's not signed with AEW, who I think is also responsible, it's Okada.
Oh my God, Sam, don't even put that thought in my head.
Why?
If he's that to be announced.
I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh, no.
But that would be cool. You're putting thoughts in your own head there.
I am. Oh, man.
But, like, yeah, guys, check this match out. This was a lot of fun. I want to know what they're going to do with him, especially going back to what happened on Impact.
Right. Also, it's interesting because the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks kind of close. Now you bring Jay White, if he comes over with the Good Brothers and maybe Chris Bay, this could be interesting. Lots and lots of variables that are out there, and I can't wait to watch them fall into place.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, guys, been another crazy week of wrestling. We're glad to be on board with you guys. And if you don't already do so, please follow us on Twitter at Above the Ring. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Above the Ring. You can find myself as the SOB Official and Scott at Scotty J Stream. We are on all streaming platforms. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and leave a review. Tell people why Above the Ring and Ship It Studios is a podcast that you're choosing and why they should listen to us as well. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to ship it. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.